This is a classic Mini that has been remastered by David Brown and had its engine developed by Ocelli Engineering, a company known for working on classic race cars. We were given the car and a track to ourselves for just 90 minutes, so let's not hang about and find out what this thing was like to drive.
What this car is a trip back to school. Back to driving school, that is. Because everything that makes modern performance cars easy to drive, traction control, ABS, automatic gearboxes, all of that is just stripped away. Absolutely shorn from this car to give you something that is lively and pure. Now, this isn't a Restomod that has completely scrubbed all of the character of the original car away. When it's idling, you still have to tickle the throttle or it stalls. And because it's got carburetors, when you roll the car, it can end up choking the engine, cutting throttle. These are all things that I didn't think I'd ever have to deal with again in a new car.
Its 1450cc twin-carb engine might only send 125 horsepower and 113 pounds-feet of torque to the front wheels through a 5-speed manual gearbox, but the numbers do not tell the whole story.
It's so visceral, so tactile. I've said that before about cars, but it's never been more true. If you do something wrong, the car tells you about it. And while it's forgiving, it will be very, very educational in how it gives its feedback. You're never getting yourself in so much bother that you can't recover. A slide is easy to get back from, so even if you get it wrong, there with understeer, there isn't enough weight to carry the car off the track. Now, David Brown says this isn't specifically a track toy, it is a road car. It just happens to be dialed in for a way that you can have fun at the track. And he's not wrong. This car has tiny little 13-inch wheels, tiny little contact patches that give you the smallest amount of grip. Under braking into a corner, the back goes incredibly light, but then under throttle, the front gets light. You're constantly managing this weight getting thrown back and forth on the car. You can go from understeer into oversteer and back again 2 or 3 times within the course of just one corner.
The brakes, which are 4-piston AP calipers squeezing 270mm discs at the front and lightweight aluminium drums at the back, give the car enough performance to keep you safe, but retain that vintage character that lets you walk the tightrope between exciting and terrifying.
But you can really wring this thing's neck. Trail brake into a corner, you can actually get oversteer. But like any other front-wheel drive car, most of the time you're managing understeer. Under braking, it squirms so much. But front-wheel drive, you just point it in the right direction, have the confidence to keep your foot in, and it will get you round. Whoa! Oh, yes! Just nip on the brakes into a corner, you can get the whole chassis turned in. Oh, brilliant fun.
The suspension, which has been lowered and fitted with Bilstein dampers, lets the body roll quite a bit, but that adds to the feeling that the car is constantly talking to you.
I know some of these are going to get bought and just held in people's fancy penthouses and locked away in garages, but this car wants to be driven. It wants to be driven. This is like rose-tinted spectacles. It's like looking back in time and remembering how much fun a car was to drive, but in a way that is complimentary, maybe overly so for how that car was. The original Mini was fun, it was exciting, and it handled brilliantly, but it wasn't this. It was not this. Modern Minis like to market themselves on having that go-kart feel, but really it's just a sanitized version of what this is. A full track day out in this and you'll learn more than you could in weeks of driving a modern performance car, I'll tell you that much. It should be compulsory for everyone taking their driver's license to take a car like this out on track. This is an educational car. You feel that every lap behind the wheel of this thing, you're learning not just about the car, but driving in general. You remember what it's like to control something where it's just up to you to keep it on the straight and narrow. It's teaching you mechanical sympathy in a way that modern cars just can't.
All of this comes at a price though, almost £100,000. And even for a car that can make you smile this hard behind the wheel, that's steep.
So yes, there's an almighty price tag attached to what is essentially a Mini, but that engine fettled with by Ocelli and the suspension upgrades and the brakes, they mash together into something that isn't a complete race car. It's not completely void of creature comfort. It's not preposterous to drive on road, but out on track, it unlocks that part of your brain that just loves driving. This isn't a car for posing, although it looks classy. This is a car, well, not even for setting lap times, but it is a track car that you can take out and have an absolute blast in and know that by the end of the day, you're a better driver than what you were when you started.
So what did I learn in my 90 minutes with the car? Well, it's a machine that converts fuel into happiness and nostalgia, all while making you a better driver. It might come at a hefty price, but come on, what else is money for?